Sports, Mikey B. We're going to be talking about the Philadelphia 76ers tonight. Remember, 10 games in, I still got a chance to get all these reviews in and give you my forecast for the NBA this season, where teams are headed. We always start off with the X-Men. You know, Professor X needs his team, and Professor X has some of the best mutants alive on the Philadelphia 76ers. So the guys I want to key in on for losses last year, let's talk about J.J. Redick, right? One of the key contributors from a scoring aspect on the 76ers is gone. So he leaves, went over to the Pelicans. Next up, we lose Jimmy I. Butler. I thought was a great proponent and one of the key factors for them reaching as far as they did in the playoffs. Jimmy Butler heads off to Miami Heat, and they are also establishing themselves as something special. So great job there for the Miami Heat in picking him up. But they're left with still the two posts, I guess you could say, hallmarks of the team. The guys that you're going to have to rely on, the guys that got the big contract. The first mutant, obviously, is Joel Embiid. Everything's going to go through him. For me, he is the lead of the team, even though Ben Simmons got the big contract. We'll get to him in a minute. Joel Embiid is your prototypical new age millennial center. He can shoot, he can drive, he can post. These guys can do everything. You think of him as a athletic Euro, and that's what he is to me. He's a special player. Just has to keep his head on straight. He jokes a lot, similar to most guys over 7 feet. I see that in Dwight Howard and some of the more Shaq. It's just something with the taller guys. They have a lot of fun with it. They joke around a lot, and that's the only thing I don't like. But he is a tough center as well. That means he likes to get his foot in the face of people's necks. So you gotta like that, right? You gotta like that toughness. You gotta say to yourself, okay, I got someone who's really gonna fight for me and still joke around. I'll take that. So Joel Embiid is the hallmark. Where he goes, they go. They're gonna rely heavily on him. Next up, to continue on with Professor X's team, and I call Professor X every single damn coach in the NBA. You got to look to Ben Simmons, right? Ben Simmons is going to be the creator. The guy I'm listed as a guard forward. Again, jump shot is critical in the NBA. Obviously, I'm going to kick off with that. I mean, that's the most obvious thing. Ben wasn't shooting as much last year, never really took the chances. Apparently in his new contract, he has to shoot. So it'll be interesting to see what we get from Ben this year. I'm a little bit shaky on Ben Simmons on that big contract he got. I was scared that they gave that to him. But now they're going to have to roll with him. I know they're thinking about a new age Magic Johnson. However, Ben Simmons' half-court game is a lot to be. There's a lot to be wanted there. A lot for him to develop, and he has the opportunity, right? He got the big contract now. He can work on all things. He's secure. He can now focus on being a better basketball player without having the nerves of saying, "Hey, where am I going? Where am I headed?" Unless he fails real bad and they look to trade Ben Simmons. And with that contract, I just don't know who's going to give that to him. Who's up third? So this is one of the rare teams that you may have a big four. And the next guy up to me is Tobias Harris. Came over from the Clippers last year. I thought one of the strongest trades last year. The problem is he didn't come through as expected. If Tobias was Tobias against Toronto, there's no doubt the 76ers would have reached the finals. Joel was off as well. And so was Ben Simmons. So you got those three that were off, and they were still hanging in games. And off meaning Tobias Harris is a guy that can drop 27 to 35 on you any night. All right. He's an all-star to me, not a borderline all-star. He's just not going to make the team. So now he has the opportunity with Jimmy Butler being gone to really take over, and again, maybe necessitate force his role as as probably the primary scorer of this team, even though Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons are there. Tobias will be heavily relied on from three-point land to be able to facilitate spacing and be able to help Joel Embiid get a little bit more looks inside one-on-one. Now, the move that they made that added a big four, but I hate it, is Al Horford. I didn't get the trade. I didn't get why they went after Al Horford, but they did. And again, I'm cheating a little bit, right? Because it should have been preview for the season. The season started. They're doing well, right? They're doing well. They're doing well in their division, as you can see. 3-0. 5-1. So not bad, not freaking bad. They just had a loss against the Suns. I saw that game. We'll go over those guys next. I like it. I like what I see out of them. They're proving me wrong a little bit. I just thought there was more guard play needed. But they're able to really get some of these, and we're going to talk about these guys, these mid-tier players, these role players that maybe put them on a different level defensively. I know Jimmy Butler is one of the better defenders in the league, but definitely an upgrade over J.J. Redick. So he loses shooting, but what you may have gained is some of the most gritty defensive hellholes that you have in the NBA to make your life difficult, and I think they've got the better defensively. Let's continue on. So we got the big four, and now who's going to be the small X factors that are going to be game changers? They actually have several of these, and I want to get into Josh Richardson, who was moved along with that trade for Jimmy Butler. Josh comes in, 15, 16 points a game with the Heat. He was a primary scorer, a great defensive guard. He can play point guard. He's long. He's tall. He's very interesting. He can shoot the three. This was a great pickup. I mean, people are sleeping on it, but Josh Richardson was a good pickup for this team, and he's proven to be paying the dividends for the 76ers. Be interesting to see what else we can get from him. Maybe increase his average, right? He's not going to have more than 15. I'm sorry, but increase his productivity playing with some of the best one of the best front courts in the league in Simmons and Embiid with Horford. So Josh Richardson, not a bad pickup. I don't think he's on a level of J.J. Redick offensively. He definitely is not. But defensively, they've upgraded. Now, chances wise, there's a couple other players, right, that were drafted, and I want to get into Maya Shyack, Mike Scott, Matisse Thybulle. Those three right there are the cornerstones of the 3-and-D players. All right, and Mayak is more of a shooting guard, but had a tremendous summer league. Mario Shyack, I mean, out of Iowa State, I believe. What a season! What a preseason! I'm excited from if they can get him in. They've just got another stretch three that's pretty good defensively. Again, you're not looking for these superstar players. Everyone's saying, well, look at Kevin Porter Jr. You don't want those type of superstars when you got four of them already. You got four heads now. So you need role players, and you know what? Mario Shyack can spot up and maybe he'll shoot the three. Will he get the minutes? I think as the season progresses, we'll see that Mr. Brown, the coach, adds him into the lineup and gets him some minutes. Mike Scott, obviously, long-time journeyman and long-time great 3-and-D player. Great to have on your team. Stretches the floor, plays defense, like him. Matisse Thybulle should be the heir apparent to Mike Scott. Don't be fooled by the height. He's a long arm guy. So we'll see what we can get from Mr. Matisse Thybulle. He's playing a lot. I think he has the opportunity here out of Washington to prove himself as one of the better 3-and-D scorers, and he's getting minutes, so that's awesome for him. Zaire Smith, I'm bringing him in as well. Another defensive guard, improved his three in the summertime at the broken foot, I believe it was. So, he comes back, not an ACL injury, should fully recover, should still have his explosiveness. And he's garnered a new 3-point shot. I'm excited to see what we see from Zaire, hard worker. Again, another defensive player. They're scary defensively. That's what I'm seeing here. Very scary. Kyle O'Quinn comes in, another backup center vet, can also stretch the floor, gives you spacing. Like Kyle, I think they've upgraded here in the center position. He's a more consistent post player and scorer. One thing they lose out on is shot blocking. Hopefully Joel Embiid can make that up, or they can find somebody else. I'm talking about Boban is gone, right? But Kyle Quinn can give you more minutes on the floor, stretch the floor, spacing, rebounding, not bad. Raul Neto comes in as the backup point guard out of Utah. I love this kid. He's never really gotten the opportunity. Now he will get the opportunity. Definite upgrade over TJ McConnell. I think we'll see special things from Raul Neto. Don't be surprised of him averaging 6 or 7 points a game and giving you some of the most exciting plays for the team. Tremendous handle in Raul Neto. Finally an opportunity to show what he has. Furkan Korkmaz has been sitting on a bench for a while. Another stretch three. This is your Euro 3-and-D, right? And this is not 3-and-D. Your Euro 3, not D. So Furkan comes in. Finally, he's getting an opportunity to shoot. I think he'll be the second best three-point shooter on his team behind Tobias Harris. It's exciting to see Furkan finally get the minutes to play. Against Sixers have loaded up with these role positions. Couple X factors. So the big one for me here, I haven't seen him play yet. I don't know what's going on. Trey Burke out of the Dallas Mavericks used to play for the New York Knicks. If they can get anything out of him for the six-man rotation, if they can facilitate him as the Lewis Williams of the team, they can be special in the East and give the Milwaukee Bucks all they have been hoping for or wanting for work. Trey Burke is going to be a key factor for this team. Where he goes on the bench is where they're going to go from a playoff perspective. Got to see Trey Burke come along, get into this lineup somehow, some way. Maybe pair him up with Raul Neto at times. Trey Burke has to be a part of the solution. We'll see where he gets at midseason, but Trey Burke is going to be exciting. Big time scorer. He's going to be able to relieve some of the pain that the starters are giving teams and be able to continue to push that pressure. James Ennis comes in again, another 3-and-D player. They're just focused on defense now, guys. It's not the same offensive team as last year, no. But defensively, I think they've upgraded. James Ennis comes back second year with this team off of the trade from Houston. He should pay dividends. Jonah Bolden, another backup center here, right? So we got a good backup center in Kyle O'Quinn, and we got Jonah Bolden, who also comes in there and is able to relieve some of the pain of Joel Embiid, who's a big lumbering 7-footer, big body, 280 pounds, who needs to rest up his feet. It's always scary that he's an injury away from, possibly hurting himself long term, and they can't risk that. So they need Mr. Jonah Bolden to come in, and he can shoot the three, stretch the floor. Really like Jonah. They list him as 4, but he can play center as well. Going down, Norv Powell rounds out the group. Athletic forward, big athletic forward. Let's see what he can do. He can give him spots again, power forward, center position in spurts. He needs to, again, just come in and be productive, rebound, get a couple fouls for the team, get a couple alley-oop dunks. He's a good leaper. Best sleeper of the centers in this group. So Norv Powell comes in, possibly provides some defensive help from a shot blocking perspective. We got to see what we get from Norv Powell. But again, what I see from the Sixers this season, even though the rankings are kind of there for the last 6 games, is I believe they're the second best team in the East. Maybe third, all right? So second and third place is where I see them. If they can upgrade one more slot, I mean, I could see somebody making a move for Chris Paul, okay? I know everyone loves Mr. Simmons, but, I'm just weary of him handling the ball full-time all season. He's really just He's Magic Johnson just on the fast break, and that's it, really. Half-court game, I don't see much there, but he's still making some defining passes. He's still a young kid. Let's see how old he is. 23, 24, it'd be scary. 23 fucking, oh, God, I'm cussing. 23 years old. I mean, come on. I mean, he just has to shoot the 3. He hasn't been doing that, but look at the stat line, trying to edge up into a triple-double range, and he has to start shooting some threes. He has to improve his free throw percentage. It's horrible. But Ben Simmons they invested in him. They vested in him. Could they add a Chris Paul with a couple trades maybe to tutelage him? But he's going to have to shoot the 3, and that's the problem because he likes to just pass the ball, pass. And now he has so many different weapons to pass it to. Shayak, Scott, Tybalt, Smith. I mean, it goes on. Trey Burke can shoot the 3. Jonah Bolden, Horford, Tobias Harris. There's enough balls that go around where, guess what? They're going to be able to hide Ben Simmons' shortcoming on the offensive end. Because when you go a year not shooting the 3 and not shooting jump shots, it starts to be an imprint in your game, and it's hard to change that lifestyle unless you just go out and make a deciding factor in your head. I'm just going to shoot it. So, again, good year for the Sixers defensively. Championship, I don't see it. There needs to be a trade at some point for another guard, in my opinion. And then they can make something happen. All 4 Sports is signing off. Nice lineup here, good lineup. Just not championship caliber, in my opinion. We're out. Let's see what we get next. Say 76ers, your season preview. Peace.